Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. In this video, we're going to be jumping into Stellar Lumens and I'm going to be telling you why I am exceptionally bullish right now, and I believe you should be too. We're going to kind of look at Stellar Lumens in regards to Elliott Wave and the Elliott Wave theory. We're going to really focus on that and look at a kind of weekly time frame and why I believe you are absolutely going to see anywhere from a $3.50 to a $5 XLM price before the year is out, guys. And I actually don't think that's going to be the top. We're going to discuss it all in this video. So this is one to stay tuned for. If you are feeling fatigued with Stellar Lumens, do not fear, All in Crypto is here, guys, and we're really going to get into it all in this video. So we're currently sat at 55 cents. We have a market cap of $12.8 billion. So imagine if you went to $5, you would have a market cap of $128 billion. XRP did more than that back in 2017. The market was significantly more immature. There wasn't the kind of attention and avenues of revenue to get into the market. You have a number of reasons to suspect that this is going to be a significantly more bullish year for a number of projects in terms of market cap than it was prior in 2017. Ultimately, a lot of coins did a lot of things in 2017, like XLM in October went from like a cent all the way to 83 cents. So it essentially 83x'd in a period of a couple months. And this is a trait that I want you guys to remember as we go through this video. XLM is a laggard. We are seeing that is true today, guys. You see a lot of coins that have sort of broken their all-time highs. XLM hasn't yet done that. However, I do think there are big things coming for XLM, and we're going to go through why that is in this video. So let's have a look at the where XLM is right now. We're going to take a look at the 4-hourly, and we're really going to confirm with why I am so bullish. Ultimately, guys, you have now broken above this EMA, and we did say in our prior video that this was indeed, and you can go and watch the videos, we leave them all up there, going to act as support and going to force you higher, guys. Have a number of other things going on right now. We are in a bit of a funnel, which I very, very quickly want to point out. If we grab a trend line, you can see that we are kind of funneling upwards at the moment. Let me get rid of this little squiggle. Let's get rid of that. So you can see that we are in a bit of a funnel. Not the best draw in the world, guys, but I'm just trying to do it quickly. And essentially, you have a number of other things going on right now. You have some support that has kicked in. You can sort of look at sort of swing highs and see how they act as support. This swing high actually acted as support and resistance. You can see it acted as, if we zoom in, it acted as resistance here. It's not perfectly drawn, guys, but for the sake of this video, it will do. You can see this actually acted as resistance on the wicks and the actual candle body, and is now, in my opinion, acting as support, guys. And I also think if we look at a local bottom, you have a kind of another resistance level that we are sort of looking at. So if you go from prior data, you can very much analyze what is taking place. And ultimately, I think you have a number of things setting up here that is going to lead to a pop out to the upside, in my opinion, that is going to take you back to your local highs. There are a number of other resistance levels, but for the sake of this video, we're not going to go into it all. But ultimately, right now, guys, I am thinking, and I'm pretty confident that XLM is going to continue going upwards in this kind of a staircasing manner before we see a bit more of a parabolic move coming, guys. The other thing I want to look at very quickly is a daily. Same sort of story here, guys. You can see that we have now broken that EMA to the upside. And ultimately, if you look at how we played out previously, these are just reasons I'm bullish. We're going to get into why I think it's going to hit $3.50 to $5 in a second. You can see every time we sort of break from resistance to support on the EMA, what you are kind of greeted with. And you are greeted with a significant move to the upside every time, guys. And we think that that is coming, and it's certainly setting up that way. So I'm very, very bullish on this project. I was going to make this video yesterday. I kind of wish I did, because everything kind of came to fruition. But hey ho, that's just how it goes. Now, why is it that I believe you are going to see anywhere from a $3.50 to a $5 XLM? Well, let's get into it, guys, and let's get into something called the Elliott Wave theory. We're going to leave the kind of complex structure of the Elliott Wave theory out. However, we are going to touch on it very briefly to kind of give you a confirming factor of why I think it is following this. So Elliott Wave theory was created by a man called Ralph Elliott. And essentially it dictates that markets move in a wave-like pattern that is comprised of 5 waves. You have 3 impulsive waves and 2 kind of pullback waves. And essentially, we think that is taking place with XLM. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch it to a logarithmic timescale. And we're going to try and map out these waves. And there is a lot of confusion, believe it or not, with this. Some people think that we have only really just made a 1 wave and we are in our wave 2 correction before we then make a 3 wave. I happen to think that maybe, and I certainly lean towards, that would be exceptionally bullish. That would mean that your $3 to $5 would get blown out of the water and you'd go into $5 plus. Ultimately, I like to stay conservative. I like to plan for the worst, and if the best happens, then it's a bonus. But the worst, or it's not really the worst case scenario because it's still extremely bullish, is that we have indeed made our, or are currently making our fourth wave, ready for that fifth wave. Now, traditional Elliott wave theory, guys. So that's essentially the Elliott waves that we've seen so far. You've seen that first wave, the second wave, the third wave, and you've seen the fourth wave pull back. The entire market's pulled back, and you now are going to see us make that fifth wave. Now, where's that fifth wave likely to take us? So let's talk about Elliott wave theory, and let's talk about the kind of rules that it follows. Now, traditionally, certainly in the stock market, your third wave is your most parabolic, your kind of biggest wave where you make your kind of best returns. However, in the commodities market, it tends to be your fifth wave that's actually bigger than your third wave and is the biggest wave. So I think cryptos don't necessarily follow the kind of stock pattern. I also happen to believe, and certainly when we look at prior history and how we've kind of acted in bull markets, and certainly if you map out the Elliott wave theory prior, remember guys, it wasn't really till the end of the year, after everything kind of been continually going up. We can certainly see that in Bitcoin. If we kind of look at Bitcoin and how it performed throughout the year. Sorry about the kind of squares on the chart, guys. These are just me showing you that pullbacks are a normal part of bull markets. You can see Bitcoin was making kind of explosive moves throughout the entire year, guys, whereas XLM essentially was flat, really. If we kind of zoom in, it was very flat, didn't really do anything, kind of ranged, and then it wasn't really till the end of the year it exploded. So that would be another confirming factor to me that it's going to follow more of a commodity style Elliott wave theory and have a bit more of an explosive fifth wave. That's if, of course, we aren't just on the second wave right now, ready for the third, fourth, and then fifth. But one thing that I want to point out, guys, is let's say we take the third wave and we work out where that's going to take us. So we just add another third wave on. Remember, the fifth wave in commodities is bigger. Let's take a look at where that would take us in terms of price. By the way, guys, I am going to do an exceptionally detailed... it's around about 800%, sorry. So around about 800% is that third wave. It's actually a bit more than that if you count the wicks, but we're going to go off the candle bodies just to be safe. Candle closes on a weekly. So you could kind of count the wicks, I guess, on a weekly. In the shorter time frames, you can kind of ignore them. But on a weekly, you could perhaps count them. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to go off the candle bodies. You can see that we made around about an 800% in that third leg, if that indeed was our third wave. So where would that take us? Well, if we count this as the bottom, where we've kind of bottomed out at, and we add another 800% to it. Remember, commodities, your fifth wave is actually bigger. So we get 800%, so 799% will do. Takes us to around about $3.75, guys. I hope you can see that. Let me just draw that again, get a bit more room on the charts. So you can see that it takes us, so around about that $3.70, $3.80 range. So that would be your third wave. And like I say, remember that commodities, guys, are the fifth wave is actually bigger. And I think the stock market, crypto is more like commodities than it is anything else, guys. So I think you are going to make this fifth wave. I think if you look on a weekly how we act around the EMA, Stellar Lumens is a nightmare to trade, by the way, guys, because it doesn't always bounce off it perfectly. If you go on short time frames, you can see that. We know we're in a bull market because obviously if you look at a bear market, you can see that the EMA acts as resistance. In a bull market, acts as support. We've got a number of other confirming factors like the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory and a number of other things. And one way that I would say that we are actually in an Elliott wave kind of structure is we are actually playing out these Elliott waves on a smaller time frame. You can see here within the Elliott waves, you actually have a smaller set of Elliott waves. And you can see how that is true to this day, guys. You can see you have your one wave, your two wave. This is just a quick draw, guys, so don't expect it to be too neat. Your three wave, your fourth wave, and then you have your fifth wave before you have an A, B, C correction, guys. So you can see that the Elliott wave theory is actually holding strong in regards to on a shorter time frame, and in my opinion is going to perform on a bigger kind of scale. And like I say, I am aiming for that. And that is, of course, taking into account that you do follow the commodities market and you do make a fifth wave that is bigger than the third wave. Bearing in mind, we just took the third wave. This is just a rough kind of price prediction. I am going to bring up some fibs and take all factors into account and do a kind of really in-depth price prediction for you guys, so stay tuned for that. Ultimately, like I say, if we go back to market cap, that would take us, certainly if we hit $5, bearing in mind we've only mapped out, using the kind of similar third wave. If you outperform that and you follow the commodities, $5 is a short kind of journey. And ultimately, if we have only made our 1 and 2 wave, like some people are kind of claiming, you're going to blow $5 out the water. But we always stay conservative. We always like to give you accurate and kind of stay on the side of reason. But this market could get exceptionally parabolic, guys. I mean, you could see it do significantly more than that. Just a quick one. I know that people get very fatigued holding XLM. I don't think you have any reason to be, guys. I think it's a great project. I think if you look at what they're actually trying to do, they're a kind of system of transacting value. Stellar Lumens was made to support digital representations of any currency, but it also has its own built-in token called Lumens, created to fill a special role in the network. By design, Stellar Lumens requires that each account holder holds a small number of lumens at all times. So you can see where its values derived from. You actually need to own lumens in order to use the network. It's very, very fast, very efficient. If you look at something like the Forex market that does I think it was like $8 billion, $8 trillion, not billion. So another 4 times the entire crypto market in terms of volume a day. You can see how a coin like Lumens, if it played a part in kind of helping the transactional transacting of value, would accrue a lot of value. So that's all I have for you in this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this. I know there's a lot of people, like I say, get very, very fatigued with the project. On these shorter time frames, we look absolutely great. And let's quickly touch on Bitcoin. Let's take us to a smaller time frame for Bitcoin. We have been pointing out head and shoulders that was actually validated, and this could mean that we are indeed going to continue to move upwards. Ultimately, the entire market is still tethered to Bitcoin largely. I don't know why we're going for a weekly. We said a smaller time frame. We're going for a larger. You can see this head and shoulders that played out for Bitcoin. We've been watching this very, very closely, guys, and it was actually validated. And in my opinion, is going to continue to be validated. I think you're going to capitulate. I wouldn't like to see us drop some support levels. I think if we drop some support levels and we kind of get too fatigued, it's not going to be a great thing. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think you have a number of levels that you want to kind of watch out for if we use the candle bodies. But to me, we still look great. We still look like we are going to continue sort of impulse into the uptime. We could see a new all-time coming very, very soon for Bitcoin. This, of course, is going to be great for the entire market. But remember, guys, look at the bigger time frames. If you're getting fatigued on the shorter ones, look at the bigger ones, and it all makes sense. And ultimately, I have high hopes for Lumens. It's a bit of an underdog. It doesn't do a lot till really the end of the year. I think a similar thing's going to play out this year. That's all I have for you in this video, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. I hope you have found this content interesting. I hope you have found it valuable. A like is always appreciated. Comments as well. I want to know your feedback, good or bad. And get subscribed to one of the fastest and realest growing YouTube channels out there, because we're bringing you regular content every single day that I believe is honest and concise. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you.